What's good, Joe? Welcome back to another video. So how King Krule became rap's favorite indie artist? Y'all let me know who King Krule is. Who's that? Question mark.
This video is sponsored by Aura. Stay tuned to find out more. Converse With Me is filled with hip-hop, so I'm sure many of you are quite surprised to see that I hold interest in King Krule. In reality, the range of music that I listen to spreads over quite a large spectrum.
Same.
As someone who does have a very broad taste in music, I can confidently say that one of my favorite artists of all time, King Krule, acts like an honorary member to present-day hip-hop. Not only in my eyes, but to many of your favorite hip-hop artists' eyes as well. Artists including Kanye West, Tyler the Creator, and Earl Sweatshirt, just to name a few. Archie Ivan Marshall, also known by his stage name King Krule, is an English singer, rapper, songwriter, record producer, and musician. He began his career in 2010 at the mere age of 16 under the alias Zoo Kid. Only a year later, he took the name King Krule and ran with it. He'd go with this alias King Krule to create an EP and 3 full-length critically acclaimed albums. King Krule is one of the most versatile artists that I've followed. He combines stray sounds from punk, jazz, and hip-hop to create his own sound. Rat King is a group that made me want to merge into King Krule's music just a bit more. The group was created by Wiki, a rapper based out of New York, alongside artist Hawk and Sporting Life, who is a producer. King Krule features on the track So Sick Stories. This track to me is the epitome of King Krule's versatility. The idea of a London-based indie artist hopping on underground New York sound is proven in this sub 5-minute track. It shows that not only his flow is able to nest between these two New York natives, but the lyricism as well. He carries over his melancholy gray expression over the chorus. Describing the grimy streets of New York, he describes the souls of New York sleeping as he drifts through the concrete jungle with both Wiki and Hawk. Alongside the track, we received a music video.
That shit sound like, what's that white dude? The jacket swagger of a young African American black kid. I'm like, bro, shut up. That's how that sound for a second. I know, I'm just playing that. To me, that was funny, bro.
That displayed just that. A few locals lurking around New York as dusk turns to dawn. There was so much more to discover past this track when it came to Archie and hip-hop. Looking into his discography, I found DJ JD Sports, which is a persona that sounds like a J Dilla tribute. A highlight of his SoundCloud would be Batch 1, an 11-minute beat session of various flip samples and soft bass. Each track feels like you're floating through the rain in the AM. He actually hops on some of the tracks himself, nesting his persona perfectly on the sub 2-minute tracks. He also carried a similar idea under the name Edgar the Beatmaker, producing 3 hip-hop projects fusing downtempo and dubstep influences with a classic West Coast rap. Alongside, he had a very similar moniker Edgar the Breathtaker, which shared many similarities, but described as Archie as new electronic garbage. Edgar the Breathtaker had a very impressive boiler room set under this alias in 2016. More recently, he used the alias to fully produce Jada's Half-Life EP in 2019. Both artists were actually a part of the same hip-hop group called Sub Luna City, where Archie performed, wrote, and produced music within this group. So what? Archie has about 5 hip-hop monikers that he dabbled around with for fun. He's written, produced, and performed under these aliases as well. But how does that make him recognized as rap's favorite indie artist?
Yeah,
as stated before, his music floats somewhere between punk, hip-hop, and jazz throughout each of his full-fledged King Krule albums. Obviously, the projects that I've stated are only really known by a small subgroup of his core fanbase. The reason that you haven't heard of King Krule collaborating with mainstream hip-hop is because he's one of the few artists that act counter-commercially. In an interview with New York Times, Archie stated that the key to his artistry is about creating a universe for yourself, courting obsessive listeners, and not flooding the market. He said his method is a survival tactic. You see, kids, they make one good track, they do one great feature, and they're everywhere. They've got 1 million people watching them, he said. I wanted to develop and preserve my art. If you overdo it, people will get sick of you. He goes on by saying that he had Kanye West reach out to him to go to his studio, further stating that he couldn't be bothered, not because of a superiority factor, but because he doesn't like the pressure of creating on call. Just like how Archie is very careful with his path to fame, today's sponsor can help you be careful with something important to all of us, our data. Thanks to today's sponsor, Aura, you can receive a 14-day free trial.
That was smooth. Not gonna lie to you, but we're gonna
fraud
have to,
monitoring, a VPN, password management, and antivirus software. Each other's records that were released that year, The Ooze and Flower Boy. Tyler professes his love for the track Slush Puppy, and how he listened to the album in a very special time during his life. One collaboration that did end up making it out is Travis Scott's remix of Neptune Estate, which was released in 2014. It had a very similar sound to Owl Pharaoh, his debut solo mixtape. The song had mixed reviews, but I do enjoy the vocal contrast that Travis brings to the table. Even in the original song itself, King Krule's rhymes carry a heavy hip-hop influence, especially the lyric, "The brain lives on but the vibes are dead," corrosively tread through emotionally spoon-fed purpose. The contrast of the song is further displayed in the album cover. The border are hands shaking in peace, while demon-like figures bounce around within. The cover itself was done by Jim Joe, who has creative artwork for Kanye in the past, and also Drake's If You're Reading This It's Too Late, with creative direction from the legendary Virgil Abloh, who is a King Krule fan as well. After digging around on Instagram, I found a video of Abloh at a King Krule show, stating that it was amongst the greatest shows on earth. The sample itself that Travis uses is the track Christian Dior Denim Flow, a huge song nested within Kanye's Good Fridays in 2010, featuring artists like Kid Cudi, Lloyd Banks, Pusha T, and Ryan Leslie. It's not that King Krule sees a superiority over artists, it's that he's mysterious and he has the intention of building an audience organically. A large collaboration may boost an artist's career, but that may also be all they're known for. A great example of an artist who did use a rise of fame in their favor is Alan Kingdom. You may know Alan from All Day, one of Kanye's greatest hits of 2015. At only 21 years old, he shot to fame with the track. But he states that he took the fame correctly, and that he made the success positive when it could have been negative, stating that, "I think as an artist, people try to make it seem like the public takes you and turns you into something. But you do have a say in what you become. I feel like I took those positives from the situation and made it work for me." Even after the hit track, Alan continued working on his album, didn't push gimmicky singles, and grew his core fanbase.
As you
Essentially, he
should.
didn't let himself become another Kanye-influenced offspring from this fame. By choosing collaboration with Delicacy, we simply do not hear King Krule on many of our favorite hip-hop albums. But as shown, they definitely take inspiration and admire his work. He's truly a one-of-a-kind artist. He mixes sounds from punk, jazz, and hip-hop to create a melancholic trip through each of his songs. Few artists act counter-commercially. For King Krule, it's worked greatly in his favor. He's gotten respect from some of the greatest artists in the world. Archie taught us that the quick rise to fame isn't...
That's what I think it was. He got love from MF Doom himself? Man. That's one of my biggest regrets. I wish MF Doom was able to listen to my music. He's here in spirit. Let's say that. He's in here in spirit. He's smiling.
Always the key to success. And that the best things in life, including a core fan base, simply takes time to grow.
Facts.
Now I want to hear from you guys. Which rapper would you like King Krule to collaborate with?
Me, honestly. You know, I'm always down to collab. You know what I'm saying? I would love to collab with him, pick his brain on life, see where he's at in life, get to know him for him, and maybe even make a friend. That's what I want to do. Let me ask y'all something. Do y'all think... I don't know. Do y'all... What makes an artist? Y'all answer that in the comments below. If y'all made it this far and y'all answered it, whoever texts me on Tario_3000 about it, I will give them $50. Peace. Tario the poet.